A new head coaching candidate has emerged in the New York Jets sweepstakes to be the next head coach. Are you going to like it? Well, let's give it a ring.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show. And let's flip the banner right at the beginning of the show, baby. If you're new to the channel, you may not know about this. We have a Boy Green emoji contest, and every membership you gift will enter you into the contest for a custom emoji all month long. Plus, every 5 emojis you gift, either one at a time that adds up to 5, or 5 at a or you just do a 5-piece right now, you will get a raffle ticket to our Jet Surprise giveaway at the end of the month. That's going to include autograph merch items and other Jets memorabilia. You're going to want to be a part of that. And, of course, you help support the channel. So it's a double gift, baby, which is awesome. So I want to do what we can to give back to all the wonderful Jet fans that have been so good to me. And right off the top rope, baby, our number one Austrian Jets fan just gifted a beautiful membership. Shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan for that. And Billy Miknovic, a.k.a. BAM Collectibles. You are now just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, which is terrific. That takes our number one Austrian Jets fan total to 10 memberships gifted so far this month, which entitles them to an extra raffle ticket, which I just talked about. So, again, every 5-pack you get another raffle ticket for that wonderful giveaway at the end of the month. And our leaderboard, Chef Kevin Gilbert, led the board yesterday with 16 memberships gifted, followed up our number one Austrian Jet fan at 10, and Fleur Lily in Big D also with 10 memberships gifted. So keep the contest going. And like I said, who has the overall most gifted memberships at the end of the month will also get a custom emoji. Shout out to our good buddy, Snowball. With that being said, let's talk about this dark horse candidate. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below. And folks, not sure how you're going to feel about it, because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'll give you my initial. The dark horse candidate is Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. And I can already hear people going, boo, boo, terrible. I can already hear people saying that. And excuse me, I'll be honest. My initial reaction was, oh, no, when I heard this. Here's the full quote. We'll go to Rich Cimini, our guy, who had this on the Flight Deck podcast, which he discussed. But here's the full quote on it when he was going through the head coaching carousel. Quote, another name to watch. He's kind of a dark horse candidate. Arthur Smith, currently the Steelers offensive coordinator. He was one of the runner-ups to Saleh in 2021. Wouldn't it be ironic if the Jets hired him, because we all know Saleh wanted to hire Smith last offseason to come in and oversee the offense of Nathaniel Hackett. That never really got seriously close to happening because he knew he was going to Pittsburgh, according to Rich Cimini. This is his quote. He has done a great job this year with Russell Wilson. I know it. He was with Atlanta for 3 years, and Smith was the definition of mediocre. He was 7-10 in all 3 seasons with the Falcons, but he does have head coaching experience. He is an offensive guy, and he's an interesting name. Clearly, this ownership is familiar with him. I'm not saying he's a front runner, but he's an interesting name, end quote. That from Rich Cimini on the Flight Deck podcast. Old him. Hey, baby. A 5-pack coming in from Ed Vargas, baby. You love to see it. And with that 5-pack, Ed Vargas has just got himself, baby, a beautiful raffle ticket to our giveaway at the end of the month. Plus, of course, in the running for emoji contest as well. So, Ed, welcome to the party, baby. I hope everyone takes full advantage of this. And I love it. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We have Kevin Tattoos, M. Sal Cavi, Winston Grant, Cincy Matt, and Ray Perez. You are all now members, baby, to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Ed Vargas for that beautiful gift. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate you. Thank you. And of course, as Jared B also put in there, all the access you guys get for the gifted membership. Of course, I talked about the contest that you can win that's outside of YouTube that we'll be giving away some merch. You enter yourself into that contest, baby. Good morning, Coffee Club family, Ed Vargas says. And also get access to our Discord channel where all us Jet fans talk beyond the Boy Green Daily Show, which Jared B just included in there. Okay, so let's get into, and thank you, Ed Vargas. And guys, keep it rolling, baby. The emoji contest and giveaway merch contest is throughout the entire month. So keep jumping in on that train. We appreciate you. So here's the thing. Like I said, my initial to Arthur Smith was, ew, gross. No, because he was a head coach, but he sucked with the Falcons. He was 7-10 all 3 years, which you got to respect the consistency. Thank you, Arthur Smith. But there was a lot of bad with Arthur Smith. Here's one of the things that were bad. So he was a head coach for 3 seasons, 2021, 2022, 2023. Again, he was 7-10 in all 3 seasons. 66% of the time, or 2 out of those 3 years, the NFC South was god-awful. It was disgusting. It was terrible. It was there to be claimed. Arthur Smith won the division in neither of his seasons. The last 2 seasons that he was head coach, 2022 and 2023, here was the NFC South champions' final record. 8-9, 9-8. He couldn't win the division in either of those 2 shitty years. So you're like, wow, you're in a shitty division you couldn't take advantage of. That one is a red flag. The other red flag is a specific criticism of Arthur Smith, and there was a lot of complaints that he didn't maximize the talent on the roster usage, superstar usage of how Kyle Pitts was utilized, frustrated a lot of fantasy football people, of course, but also, people that may want to consider him as a head coaching candidate. Drake London, in his final season with Arthur Smith, 900 yards, 69 catches, 2 touchdowns. Gross. And the next closest receiving guy was Kyle Pitts, 53 catches, 600 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Disgusting. That doesn't inspire hope or faith or confidence. Bijan Robinson had 900 yards, 4 touchdowns, 214 carries. A lot of questions. Let's go to 2022. I'm just looking at the stats back when Arthur Smith, again, was running the operation here. Tyler Algier was his leading rusher with 1,000 yards. He was a nice mid-round pick. His receiver, Drake London, 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, 70 catches. The next closest guy, let's see, Olamide Zakakakis guy, 40 catches, 500 yards. So the numbers are not great. Now, if you want to be a Arthur Smith proponent, you would say, well, Paul, you never had a quarterback. Fair. He's had guys like Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ritter, Taylor Heineke. So he never had a quarterback, but that's the Robert Saleh argument. Hey, man, okay, we didn't have a quarterback, but look at everything else. Is it a fair evaluation of Arthur Smith that he never had a guy, or that he never pulled the trigger to get a guy? I don't know. That's part of the equation. That's part of what you have to factor into the Arthur Smith experience. So what's attractive is he's not a first-time head coach if he were to get another opportunity. So he's a retread that's done it before. Maybe he learned lessons from the first time, hopefully, potentially. Because a lot of Jet fans are fearful, even of the sexy names like Ben Johnson. He's never been a head coach before, so you're taking a gamble. Maybe he will be a raving success like Sean McVay, and then you go to town and he's your guy for the next 20 years. But even Ben Johnson, who's as attractive as he is as a candidate, he's never been a head coach before. So you kind of look at that sideways like, ooh, that's kind of risky. It would be, in theory, less risk-averse if you get a guy that's done it before. Now you kind of know. Now, unfortunately, what we know about Arthur Smith during his tenure with the Falcons wasn't great. So that he has prior head coaching experience is a plus. That he's an offensive guy is a plus. Arthur Smith has been exclusively an offensive coach since 2012. He actually started his career as a defensive guy. He was a defensive quality control coach for a couple years. He was a defensive intern / administrative assistant, a defensive quality control coach again, and then he was all offense. He was an offensive quality control coach. This is all in the NFL with the Tennessee Titans, offensive line with the Tennessee Titans, assistant tight ends coach, Tennessee Titans, tight ends coach, Tennessee Titans, offensive coordinator, Tennessee Titans. Then he got the gig with the Falcons for 3 seasons. He was a head coach. And then most recently, he's been the offensive coordinator with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's had big-time roles of OC or head coach over the last 6 years. That's a plus. And boy, what he's doing with Pittsburgh, we got to give massive amounts of credit for. The Steelers are in first place. They're 9-3, sole possession of first place in the AFC North. And look what he's done with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, who, I'll be honest, on both fronts, I didn't know. I thought Russell Wilson was probably washed, and Justin Fields can't throw a football forward. So, he's an exciting runner and makes some splash plays, but I'm like, I've got concerns. And look at the numbers. Russell Wilson so far this season has a 65.8% completion percentage. That's the same completion percentage Justin Fields has. 10 touchdowns, 3 picks for Russell Wilson, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick for Justin Fields. Najee Harris is running the ball effectively. 200 carries, 800-plus yards, 4 tutties, 4 yards per clip average. Jaylen Warren also getting involved in there. George Pickens, who's a volatile freak, he's got 55 catches, 850 yards, 3 touchdowns. But they don't really have a great wide receiver, too, which is why they tried to trade for Mike Williams at the trade deadline. Pat Freiermuth is the next best receiver on the Steelers' offense, and then their defense is great, but we're not going to give Arthur Smith credit for that, obviously. So he's done great work with Pittsburgh. He had some moments there in Tennessee, but a lot of people say, well, Derrick Henry was there, so take that for what you will. So there's some that you like, there's some that you don't. And real quick, I asked my nearly 18,000 Twitter followers, flex on them, baby. Flex on them. But no, in all seriousness, I asked my nearly 18,000 Twitter followers, if the Jets hired Arthur Smith, how exciting would that be for you as a Jets fan? And here were the poll results. Let's show these up on the screen. I'm going to show these numbers here. Spoiler alert, not a lot of people were excited about it, if I'm being blunt. We have over 1,000 votes on this poll. Oh, whoops. Whoop. There it is. Okay. As a Jets fan, would you be excited about the team hiring Arthur Smith to be the new head coach? 12.2% said yes. 69.2% said no. And I gave a meh option, and that got 18.6% of the votes. So people do not seem to be titillated by Arthur Smith. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not. Again, when you try to talk yourself into it, what's happened most recently with the Steelers, that he's not a first-time head coach. Okay, he's an offensive guy. I really would like an offensive guy in a perfect world. The Jets have only had one. I looked back through the history. Since Woody Johnson bought the team 24/25 years ago, I know it was the year 2000, so count seasons as well in there, that Woody Johnson's hired one offensive guy. That's Adam Gase. That's it. And that failed, obviously, but just because that failed doesn't mean you can never dip your toe back in the offensive coaching waters ever again. So, yeah, that's the interesting thing about old Arthur Smith. But there's a lot of bad, to be honest, and the bad is hard to overlook. Pretty hard to overlook. So there's kind of the full story on there on Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith. Now, I'll say this, as I'll read some of your comments here on what you guys think of Arthur Smith. But some of the things I would also add to this is that, when you're talking about the Arthur Smith picture and you're painting the full picture here, is that maybe he's a guy who's better served as an OC. He was an OC, became a head coach, it failed, and now he's an OC again. Maybe he's just an OC. And sometimes we learn that about coaches. Sometimes we learn, actually, they're not head coaching material, and not everyone is. There's only 32 of these jobs in the NFL, for Pete's sake, people. So, interesting. Let's read some comments here from you folks watching the show. Luca on our Facebook page says, I could see Vrabel. I think Arthur Smith is just a smokescreen. I wouldn't call it a smokescreen because, we're not even in that category yet. It was just Rich Samini says he's a dark horse candidate. He just went through some names that are possibilities. I wouldn't say we're in smokescreen season yet. And so I wouldn't quite go there. But, yeah, Vrabel is really interesting. I saw Jake Asman show yesterday. Also on the Flight Deck podcast, Rich had a lot of interesting things to say about Mike Vrabel. Maybe we'll do that as another separate show this week. Dave Briggett says, Artie would be a questionable pick to straighten out this undisciplined bunch. That's another fair point, that maybe that's more what we potentially need there. Ace of Spades. Smith is not better than Monken. Yeah, I prefer Monken, certainly, to Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is not my top 5. But like I said, I think it is important to vet, for us to use this platform of Boy Green Daily to vet through options, talk through options, because we have the benefit of time, of course. Robert Saleh was fired after week 5. And then the Jets are going to potentially be eliminated from the playoffs this week. So we have a huge head start on evaluating potential options at the head coaching position. We could talk these out to see, okay, maybe that guy's better than that, or okay, no, that guy does not deserve to be on the list. I think it's a healthy exercise here. Matthias says Stefanski. We'll see if Cleveland ends up firing him. If they do, he would rise up my list pretty quick. A 2-time coach of the year, offensive guy as well. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting, Stefanski. I don't know if the Browns will do it, but the Browns do silly things all the time. That's what Dave Briggett says. Artie is just a coordinator. That's it. That could be. Jared B. Rather have his old boss, cough, cough, Mike Vrabel. Hey, now, I don't think a lateral move would happen because if Vrabel takes over, I'm sure all you guys would say, hey, Smith is OC. But if he's the OC of Pittsburgh, they would decline that request, I would imagine. And I don't blame them. Matthias said he'd rather have Rex Ryan than Arthur Smith. Oof. All right. Dave says, Artie brings no juice. Yeah, I don't know him personally, so I guess I can't quite speak to that level. I haven't seen enough around him, but Austin Jet fan said he had Matt Ryan also. For his first year, he did. That's true. Matt Ryan had 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in that season. So he did have Matt Ryan, but then it was, for the most part, Desmond Ridder. And it was old Matt Ryan, not like a late MVP Matt Ryan. So that has to be factored in. But also, like I said, I think it's a fair criticism to say, sure, he didn't have a quarterback, but he didn't go get a quarterback. Like, he sat on his hands. And if I was a head coach, it's kind of like I watch the show Survivor. I don't really talk to you guys about it a lot, but I watch the CBS show Survivor. I'm a diehard Survivor fan. I'm going to apply to get on the show again probably here sometime this week and see if I could get on the show where you're stranded on an island with little to no food and you have to try to win the game. It's a whole hoopla. But anywho, you know, when you're going through kind of that process, okay, you have to just be, show a little bit of everything when you're going through that interview process. I lost my train of thought, but we'll get back to that later. Digital Dust says Artie's not going to UNC or the Jets especially. He's not going to UNC because going back to college is whatever. But that I don't think Arthur Smith would just reject the Jets. I think the Jets might not even be interested in Arthur Smith, Digital Dust. So to say that he wouldn't be interested in the Jets especially, what does that even mean? Arthur Smith's been a head coach once, so whose high hog is he on that he wouldn't want the Jets job? That doesn't make any sense. Danny, in real life, our resident Buffalo Bills fan, maybe he does take a lateral move to OC for the Jets because anytime you're an assistant for the Jets, it's always a great chance to become an interim. Boo-doom, bah. There you go, Danny. Yeah, that won't be happening when Mike Tomlin, who's one of the best coaches in football, might be coach of the year. We'll see on old Mike Tomlin. Matthias says there'll be like 4 or 5 openings in coaching. I think there might be more. So let's keep an eye. We already have 3 right now with New Orleans. We have the Jets and Bears. There's going to be more. So keep an eye out, folks. We're going to have more than that. Yeah. Ace of Spade. Yeah, Boy Green, healthy debates. We know the list of coaches we all want. I don't know if that's true because sometimes because like things can kind of grow on me a little bit. No virgin head coaches here. SX, HBK. No more first-time head coaches, please. Okay. The one, again, we'll do maybe a show on this later, but Aaron Glenn's kind of Aaron Glenn is kind of growing on me too. I heard Victor Green, one of the best Jet safeties of all time, he made a very passionate plea for why Aaron Glenn should be the next guy. And there's a coolness of coming home and, former Jets first-round pick. He comes home. He's wearing all the Jets gear, which is a shout-out back to that era. Like, the Aaron Glenn one's kind of growing on me if we're going to go defense. Mike Vrabel obviously is interesting for a lot of the reasons that we've already talked about, but the Aaron Glenn one's growing on me a little bit. Again, I can't say it enough. I prefer offense, but, we have to be open to all options. Johnny Boy says Arthur Smith is like Adam Gase all over again. Ugh. That's not a good comp. R&R Boy Green going on Survivor would be amazing. Yeah, I've applied a few times in the past. I've applied to Survivor in the past, but I think I got a different pitch this time. I'm going to give it a whirl, so I'll probably apply. Jeff Probst just said they're still going through season 49 cast because they don't film until the spring. Spring/early summer is when they film. So I'll have an opportunity. I'm running out of time, though. I know a lot of former survivors that have been on the show. They say the most ideal time to apply is August. So obviously I've missed that. It's December, but hopefully we can throw the hat in the ring there. Caroline Gone, Sweet Blindside, which, by the way, Manchaw, my radio partner, we do a Survivor fantasy draft. He lost his final person last night. So his torch was snuffed. Hey, Boy Green's still alive, baby. I still got Rachel. That was a good draft pick. We watched the first episode of Survivor, and then we do a fantasy draft pool. It's great. Let's see. Taylor Sterling. How many first-round picks do you give up for Tomlin? Let's see. How old is Mike Tomlin? Let's see. I don't want to be an ageist here, but how old is Mike Tomlin? 52. Wow. Okay. How many first-round picks? I mean, we'd have to look at recent history. Sean Payton got a first plus, and they're kind of the same. And what I mean by that is, like, Sean Payton won a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl. They're both respected guys. It'd probably be the Sean Payton package. But, like, the Steelers also aren't interested. That Sean Payton one was a unique example because he was no longer the coach and went to Dennis Allen. Then he wanted to come back, and there's a lot of hoopla with Wright. So the Steelers would never do it. So, I mean, maybe it's an irrelevant conversation. But, yeah, I would imagine if he was to be traded, it would be the Sean Payton package. But maybe it's different because he's an active coach. That could be a factor, I guess. Here, Austrian Jet fan with a super sticker. Hey, you love to see it, baby. Thanks for your support, brother. We appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Survivor seems like a Paul Austin Jr. spot for sure. Yeah, I really want to get on the show. I've been a diehard fan of that show. I would love to get on. We'll see. I'd have to be away from Boy Green Daily for months during filming, but, we'd be back. You guys could watch me on the show. Dave Briga, why would Mike Tomlin want to come here? Why would he want to go anywhere? I think the thought is, last year or there's been a few times during the Tomlin tenure because he hasn't won a playoff game since like 2016 that there's been a few times where the ship's been rocky, when he had Duck Hodges and things of that nature. He's in a great spot right now. He's, like I said, he might win Coach of the Year. So why would he come here or anywhere? He's not going anywhere at all. But someone asked a question. Mike Tomlin's a Hall of Fame coach. Normally, the line for Hall of Fame coaches is like 2 Super Bowls. Like, think about this. Mike Shanahan is still on the fence. He has not gotten in yet. He has 2 Super Bowls, and he's not in yet. So, is Mike Tomlin a Hall of Fame coach? I mean, the consecutive winning season streak is super cool. He's for an iconic franchise. That helps with the Steelers, but I'm not so sure. If he gets another Super Bowl, okay. But a 1 Super Bowl guy, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if Hall of Fame coach. Taylor Sterling says, I would mortgage the future for Mike Tomlin. That's good. Oh, Terrence Hill said he and my pop will do a version of Boy Green Daily while I'm gone. Okay, there you go. Hey, I'm all about it. I'd love to keep the lights on while I'm gone. Oh, Alan, that would have been cool. He said, I could have gotten you on Big Brother years ago. My connection left the show. Yeah, I've watched Survivor since the beginning. Richard Hack, Survivor Borneo, year 2000. I've watched Survivor since the beginning. What I got into later is because my fiance is a Big Brother fan. Now I watch Big Brother with her. So I would love to get on Big Brother. It's a goofier version of Survivor. Like, you're still money on the line, and there's all kinds of goofiness. If you guys have never seen Big Brother, you can watch it and understand. There's a level of, like, silliness that's kind of involved. Survivor's more serious in that way. you're actually on an island and you have no food. Big Brother, you get food sent to you because you can sign up for the grocery list and you can get whatever food you want. So I guess it's different from that form or fashion. But yeah, I'd love to get on Big Brother. Sure. So Alan, reach out to your connection. See if you can get me on Big Brother. That'd be fun. Paul, they have computers on Survivor. They stay in a hotel the whole time. It's all studio. That's not true. Completely false. I talk to a Survivor player every week on the show. It's actually every Thursday morning. So Brett LaBelle, there's 2 more episodes of Survivor left. It's the finale, part 1 next week, finale, part 2 the following week. So that's absolutely not true. Bunch of hoopla. SXHBK. If you want to bring a Jet back home to coach, bring back Pete Carroll for a year or 2 to right the ship, then bump him upstairs. And then you would need a guy. If you were to do this, let's play. I don't think this is happening, but if you were to do this, you would need a successor like immediately to be like learning under the wings. Unless he just righted the ship, disappeared, and then you're in the head coaching search again. I don't know. Plus, Rich Samini thinks that Pete Carroll getting burned the first time in the 90s still bothers him. And so doesn't sound like the Jets would have a shot at luring Pete Carroll here. It does not seem that way. All right, why don't we do this, baby? Let's we'll open up the phone lines here in just a second. Also, keep the contest going. Got 400 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. For all the people that are just joining us now, I'll reiterate it. We have a Boy Green emoji contest happening. Every membership you gift, which again you can do if you're watching on YouTube, hit the money sign. It's a final option. Gift channel memberships 1, 3, 5, 10, 25, 30, 40, as many as you'd like. And if you can't gift memberships because some people have iPhones, you can super chat your money in, and that works the same. I'll make sure I put it into the contest that you could gift memberships to get involved in our emoji contest and of course the merch giveaway at the end of the month. Every 5 memberships you buy, you get a raffle ticket to the final giveaway, and there's no limit, so you can buy as many memberships as you'd like to give yourself the best shot of winning this gear. And I'm telling you guys, you're gonna want to be and to have at least one raffle ticket, because of course you have one raffle ticket, you have a chance to win some of this gear. I'm telling you, this is coming from my personal collection. We got autograph gear in there. We got Jets merch in there. We got special Jets. I mean, we got some really, really cool stuff. So again, for every 5 memberships you buy, and this is a contest that's running through the entire month. We'll do it after Christmas, New Year's. We'll reveal the winner of this. So, guys, you're going to want to get on. Again, you guys get gift memberships. You get super chat. It is open to everybody. So I hope you guys get an opportunity to do that. But for now, we'll open up the phone lines, and we'll get this party started. Also, quick reminder, at 3 o'clock, we're going to have our Dolphins insider, Brian Miller, on the show. He's joined me every year for like the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years doing Jets Dolphins coverage because I want to explore 2 other head coaching candidates that have Dolphins ties. Some of you are Brian Flores people, and Anthony Weaver is another guy expected to get a head coaching interview with the New York Jets. He was with the Ravens, currently the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator, so I want some more juice on them on top of course, previewing the Jets-Dolphins matchup. That's coming up live at 3 o'clock. So make sure you stay tuned right to the channel so you don't miss that. Quick hep song, and we'll open up the phone lines next here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. You're talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets.
Hep, baby. One of the best in the business. If you'd like to call into the show, that is the pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. We're also streaming live to our Heavy on Jets Facebook page. I am, of course, the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. And we're also on Twitter at boygreen25. If you're watching on either of those places and you'd like to interact and call into the show, hop on over to youtube.com/boygreen25. That's the optimal way to watch the show because you can like the video, you can hit subscribe, and join the growing community that is all things Boy Green Daily. We got our boy Broadway Blue Shirts, everything else here. Good morning, Legend BG. Good morning to all my peeps on the YouTube verse here on X. Wish we had more engagement on the chat. Miss my YouTube folks. Go Jets still. Yeah, so wherever you guys are watching, show your support. We appreciate you. Feel free. I appreciate that. Thank you. Whether, again, I was about to say Steelers, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all of it is great. Digital Dust. What's worse, rookie college coach or former retread coach? It's a good question because just because you've done it before does not mean you can have success. Look at Adam Gase. He was with the Dolphins and he was with the Jets and he sucked. Now, I'm not painting that picture for everybody. Obviously, there's been other retreads that failed in one place, took their lumps, learned a valuable lesson, went to their next spot, and were wildly successful. So, there are stories. Pete Carroll, right? He sucked with the Jets. Yeah, ultimately ends up in Seattle, was successful in college and things of that nature. Think about it. Everyone's on the Ben Johnson train. He'd be a rookie first-time coach. He's relatively new. He's only been coaching the last, whatever it is, 8, 9, 10 years, somewhere in that ballpark. It's a little more than that. I think he got in around 2011, 2012. But, that's what I mean. Everyone's all excited about him, but we don't really know what he's going to be. College coaches, have everyone been talking about the Matt Campbells for years or the Harbaughs or this or that, although he's unique because he had the NFL prior experience. To me, it ultimately depends on the candidate. I don't really have a boom, it's got to be this guy. He's got to be, like a dating profile. He's got to be 6'3", 200 pounds, this. I don't really have specific requirements to that nature. I have some optimal settings, some suggestions, some guidelines. I prefer offense, but I can be wooed, right? I want an offensive guy, but Mike Vrabel, okay. I want an offensive guy, but Aaron Glenn, okay. I could be sold on Aaron Glenn. I could be sold on Mike Vrabel. We've talked about some of the names, it would be incredibly difficult to sell me on. But ultimately, we have to, even if the Jets hire someone I don't like, which was Adam Gase. I hated Adam Gase, but they hired him anyway because they didn't listen to me. But, eventually we have to embrace it. We're Jet fans. We have no other choice. So, okay, he gets hired. I didn't like him, but okay, we got to embrace. Right? Jets draft a guy you maybe didn't like in the pre-draft process. You're like, well, all right, we got to embrace him. He's one of us now. But Matt Nagy of the Chiefs, if that was the combination with Borgonzi, I would hate that hire. He's a retread. He's a guy that failed in Chicago, had some fleeting success, but he failed in Chicago, and he came here. Kansas City thing, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs success, Andy Reid. Okay, you got that. Got a retread guy, got connection with Chiefs people. People have tried to copy and paste success before, right? One of the Patriot way or whatever the hell they call that over there, right? How many people have retried the Patriot thing and failed everywhere? When you try to copy and paste now, it's a copycat league. People are going to try to copy successful things and see if they can remanifest it in a new place. But what's worse? It's hard to say because there's success and failures on both sides for me. I'm open to all. I'm open to a retread. I'm open to a rookie. I'm even open to a college coach, although there's no name that immediately jumps out to mind to me that tickles my interest at this moment in time. I know I've heard Lanning been brought up, but there's no name that is jumping out to me right now at the college level where I'm like, woo, baby, let's get that guy in. I'm not quite there yet. Let's go to the phone lines and keep those comments coming. We got Ricky New York live here on the show. What's up, Ricky? Good morning.
Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Oh, not too shabby.
You can't say, people shouldn't, be of that mindset where you go, no rookie head coaches, no, you know what? Every single head coach, the best head coaches there are, were all first-time head coaches at some point.
Sure, right. Yeah.
I mean, and as far as not having any retreads or anything, So, that would indicate to me that, hey, the 49ers lose a few more games and, oh, Lord, God forbid, Kyle Shanahan gets dumped. You don't want him because he's a retread?
Yeah,
Come on
right.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, I'm curious to see where this search is going to take us. And me, like you, like me, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because that was the team, when I became a Jets fan that had Aaron Glenn and Curtis Martin and Kevin Mawai and all those guys. But man, Aaron Glenn, just for whatever reason, is seeming more and more appealing to me.
He's growing on me.
Yeah, he was in our scouting department for years. And so, talent evaluation, check. Knows the market and knows the environment and can deal with it, check.
Former player for our team, both in the National Football League and for our team. He played for a long time.
Yes. And like every so many people are like hung up on Ben Johnson. We went to, what's to say that like Aaron Glenn doesn't come here and go, hey, Ben Johnson's doing his own thing, but guess what? I got this guy that was the Lions passing game, guy, and I'm bringing him with me to be my OC, and it turns out to be just what we were looking for. I mean, we don't know that could happen. Not to mention the fact that, through all the time that he spent with the Jets and now a few years with the Lions, what kind of connections he's made around the league. We don't know who he would be bringing in for his staff. So, but for whatever reason, I mean, and I guess probably part of me in the back of my mind is thinking Aaron Glenn, Kevin Mawai, former teammates, I mean, that just because Aaron Glenn could be the head coach doesn't mean that Mawai would be our OL coach, but
I'd take that yesterday.
That sure does sound appealing. It looks like he's managed to teach his guys how to block for Jonathan Taylor pretty good. I don't know what Keith Carter's problem is, but and you know what? If there's one thing that doomed us in this solid Joe Douglas era, it was the not being willing to admit a mistake, the not adjusting. Zach Wilson, clearly not the guy. We're gonna roll with him for another God knows how many games. Zerline hurt, or whatever was going on with him. But he's our guy. We're gonna no man, like either it works or it doesn't.
Be willing to adapt based on new information. Oh wait, we thought this kicker was going to be good. Oh wait, he sucks. Okay, we got to make another move. Like realize it.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate that coach speak of like the best players are going to play. Nuh-uh. I'll tell you what, Zach Wilson proved that wrong repeatedly. Because of draft position and his draft stock, whatever. Man, I mean, and granted, he's athletically gifted, but I mean, there's probably guys riding on the back of a truck in this neighborhood that have better decision making than him. I mean, it was bad. We didn't adjust. And I don't know. Hopefully this will be the last season of any of that stuff. And as much as I was kind of rooting for Ulbrich, man, you know what? I think that he definitely came from the Sala coaching tree, and the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. The excuse making, the inability to adjust, like it's all there, man. Like I mean, some of the excuse making, like that we're close,
Yeah,
yeah,
there are maybe 4 or 5 things that annoy me about Ulbrich. We're close. That's up there. Don't worry. We'll take a deep dive into that. When he says that the process is right, the results aren't. Like we're doing everything right, we're just losing. I that's a hard thing for me to understand. That we're doing everything right, and the football gods just say, "Sorry, Jets, just not this year." That I just for that's happened throughout our history, but like for it to be happening every single game and we're losing, that to me just doesn't register. So I'm sure Ulbrich is going to get another defensive job next year with some other team, but it is painfully obvious that he's a Robert Saleh carbon copy, and that is an unfortunate reality.
yeah, it really is, and you don't forget about that good week of practice. We had that good week of practice.
Unbelievable.
I don't give a damn how good practice was. Something's going on because that good week of practice is not translating to game day. So something's going on there, and everything from the accountability to the game management, situational football, and and you know what? That's the thing is we're not going out there and getting our ass kicked every week. We're losing 1 point games and 3 point games,
Yeah, it's impressive.
and
Yeah.
and you can look back and say, you know what? If Rodgers just doesn't overthrow Garrett on that one touchdown, totally different result. I mean, it's really just a handful of plays that are getting us beat, and
Coaching is the difference.
it absolutely is. And you could look at almost any other team in the NFL. You know what? 4, 5, 1 point, or 3 point games, or less games. Uh, dude, any other team, one or two of those games just their way just because that's the way the ball bounces, but not us.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's true.
there's there there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there. I don't know what they're doing or what they're not doing, but like the old saying goes, if it's don't fix it if it's not broke. But guess what? If it's broke, fucking fix it.
We're gonna put that one on a T-shirt. I like that quote. If it is broke, fucking fix it. That's and hopefully the Jets do because these coaching searches, right? You think about Steelers land, man. I wonder what it is to be a Steelers content creator. That where you've had 3 different coaches over the last 75 years, and we're going to be on. I think it's coach 21 or 22, like in our history. Like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. There's probably Steelers content creators that are like, you could call one for advice and they'd be like, hell, I don't know. I've never done a coaching search thing. I think my granddad did one. Let me call him.
Like a losing season. They've had a winning season every year since like 2007, 2008. So like when I'm like, boy, 3-9, that feeling, right? No, I don't. What's going on? Like they have zero idea. We have so they've had a winning season every year since like 2008. 13 of the last 14 years have been 500 or worse for the New York Jets, including this season. Like, good Lord, the things we go through compared to other teams is just unbelievable.
Right. Well, when I first started being a Jets fan, like, early 98 or whatever it was, like 98 AFC championship game, and it was like 2 years in, 1 year out, 3 years in, 1 year out, and it's like, as a young Jets fan, like that's what, I thought things going bad.
This is going to be it. Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, we were in the playoffs the last 2 years, and this year we missed. This is a bad year, but like I never envisioned like year after year after year not getting back. Because when I started being a Jets fan, hell, we were in the conversation every year.
Yeah.
Like every Sunday I woke up, I had no doubt in my mind whatsoever that we were going to win that game on Sunday. None. And it's been just such a complete turnaround. And I don't know, I'm an idiot. So because I still wake up sometimes feeling like we're going to win.
I do that every game. Like everything has told us, right? If the Jets lose on Sunday, they're eliminated from the playoffs. They've clinched their 9th straight losing season. But already, as I was looking at the Jets Dolphins, I'm like, oh yeah, we could do this thing. And I'm a sicko. I should be in a padded room somewhere. That I still think that. Alan said I should have just accepted the fact that earlier this week, because I was looking up stats because we're going to have this Dolphins guy on the show at 3:00, and the Jets last season were outscored 64-13 in their 2 games against the Dolphins. Like, I mean, they got beat with a brick. And somehow this year I'm like, well, Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard, all these guys are coming back. Okay, we can win. We can surprise. Play spoiler on the Dolphins. So that's how I'm leaning. Go figure.
Yeah, and the really bad part about that is the real whooping that we took. They didn't even have Tyreek Hill, and we just let Jalen Waddle go up and down the field on us.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Another coaching thing, like when there's one guy that's beating you, whether it be him or CeeDee Lamb or David Njoku, when there's one guy that's beating you,
you can't adjust.
Let Sauce travel.
For God's sake, somebody,
yeah, something. But there's no excuse to let one guy beat us, and we, like I mentioned, we did that a couple of times. So.
No doubt about it.
Anyways, that's old regime talk. We want to talk new regime talk.
Yes.
So none of that negativity. I guess if I'm excited for anything, it's for this year to be over so that we can get out with the old and in with the new.
Yeah, we're hoping for exciting times. Ricky, thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a good morning, Paul.
There he is, Ricky, New York, always giving us some good insights. Yes, I'm excited for the new regime because that could spark change and everything else. Taylor Sterling says, what if Doug Peterson becomes available, at least to look for OC, but could be a dark horse head coach? No, thank you. Absolutely not. I know he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and that was cool. What happened in Jacksonville was, and is, because he somehow is still employed, is disgusting. No, thank you. I think his run was over. He even considered walking away after the Eagles job, saying, you know what? I'm good. And he's been putting from the rough, as we like to say. Let me answer a few more questions. We'll go back to the phone lines here. We got Broadway here saying, BG, who would you rather have as GM to lead this new regime? My gut right now is Will McClay of the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm open to options. One of the Detroit people coming in potentially. But Mike, if you had a gun to my head, said right now, who's it going to be? I want Will McClay of the Dallas Cowboys. He interviewed for the Washington Commanders gig last year. They said Rick Spielman, who is part of the 33rd team, which is helping out, is vetting the list. He was on the list last year and said some of those guys on the list from last year will instead become on the Jets list this year, on top of other candidates, obviously, that fill the specific requirements and things that they're looking for. So Will McClay is number one on the list. Lincoln Riley, I guess, is a college coach people are trying to hype up. So, yeah, I guess I overlooked Lincoln Riley. I'm sorry. But, I guess we're open to all options here in New York Jets land. That's for certain. Okay, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any super chats or memberships. Okay, good. Great. Now let's go back to the phone lines, baby. We got Johnny Boy here on the program. What's up, Johnny?
BG, what's going on, brother? Real quick, man. I'm the Stefanski stuff. I keep hearing more and more noise in regards to that.
Yeah.
He does shake off, right? Got to make a run at him, right?
For sure. Yeah, he's an offensive guy. He's been a 2-time coach of the year. Obviously, he was saddled with some shitty quarterback situations in Cleveland. Now, he was a part of the regime that acquired Deshaun Watson, so take that for what you will. But overall, yeah, he's a really good coach.
So would you think he would be a guy that could essentially – because I agree with Ricky in regards of – I hate to say this because we've been saying it, and it's going – now we're a coach away, right? But if we I think with the coaching, it would have been different, right? So but would he be a coach that could stand up to an Aaron Rodgers? That's my biggest thing in regards right now with whoever is the coach that's going to come over here, right? So that's one thing. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you
Sure.
was the Vrabel news that's been going left and
Yeah.
right.
Rich Samini's podcast. Yeah, I heard about that.
What's your take on that? And it would make sense if he comes here because, like I've kept saying, with Vrabel, is the fact that we have some of his ex coaches on the staff already. So the Stefanski stuff and then the Vrabel stuff, bro. I appreciate you, BG. Always a pleasure. Keep killing it, man. And dude, if you're on Survivor, bro, I got your vote is
Nice.
good, bro. I got you.
I appreciate that, Johnny. Thanks, pal. Yeah, real quick. So Stefanski Scuff, of course, offensive guy. That'd be intriguing. Former coach of the year, 2 times over. That'd be great. Now, whether or not he could stand up to Aaron Rodgers, I don't know his personality or anything of that nature, so I can't truly speak to that to give you a great answer. I'd have to talk to more people in Cleveland to give you a better sense of who he is behind the scenes. But offensive guy would be high on the list. Again, I've revealed my list before of Todd Monken, Mike Vrabel, and Ben Johnson. But yeah, Kevin Stefanski would enter that elite conversation. There's no question about it. So he'd be interesting. Your other part of the question. The Vrabel stuff, right. Jay Kasman show, I saw that. Rich Samiti podcast, listen to it. Long story short, Mike Vrabel said that he would be open to the Jets job and basically doesn't give a shit what Bill Belichick, if he made that call, would tell him about the Jets job. He'd like to make his own decisions as a man, and with who Mike Vrabel is a person, that does not surprise me. It would depend, apparently, if he would like the GM hire or not. Vrabel would be an incredibly attractive head coaching candidate. He's been a head coach before. Check that off the bucket list. He's had success. He took a Ryan Tannehill team to the AFC Championship game. That's pretty good. And as Jake Asman points out, several of his offensive coordinator hires became head coaches in the NFL. He's obviously got an eye for talent. So that pairing would be important to see what OC he would bring in with him, obviously, to see the plan. Because like I said, that's the thing that would excite me as a Jets fan. If we got an offensive guy and it worked, is he has the headset, he's the play caller, no matter what success you'd have, you would always have your guy. Now, I'm leapfrogging because we haven't had success in a while. So for me to assume a guy would come in and have success and then potentially be lost is, I'm putting the cart before the horse here, but you get the point. I'm not surprised that he would be open to the job. Why wouldn't he be? He was open last year. He was fired, and he could have went to other head coaching, and everyone passed him over. So for everyone just assume, he's going to this job or this job or this job. We'll see what happens. I see people saying the Ohio State job in the comment section are all saying, he's going there. He'll replace Ryan Day. We'll see. If he has head coaching jobs on the table and coaching, let me clarify that. If he has head coaching offers on the table in the NFL and he's got to go back to college with NIL and all that other bullshit, I don't think he's going back to college. I'm sure it's alluring to go back to Ohio State, and that would be tempting for him, I'm sure. But then all the NIL and other bullshit that's happening in college football, I'm not so sure it's a foregone conclusion. He's just going there and see you later NFL gigs. I'm not sure I would sign up for that. Is it possible he goes to Ohio State? Of course. But I wouldn't call it some foregone conclusion if Ryan Day is gone. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. Make sure you guys, we have over 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. And again, the Boy Green contest, baby. Every 5 memberships get your raffle ticket to our Jet Surprise giveaway with merch, Jets items, and other stuff from my exclusive collection, baby. We want to give back to the fans. It's the holiday season. So again, every 5 memberships, you could gift those on YouTube. Or if you're unable to gift memberships because you have an iPhone or something of that nature, you could super chat them in, and that can circumvent that rule, and we'll make sure we add you to the contest as well. So there's a million ways for you guys to enter, and stay tuned. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Easy here on the show. What's up, Easy?
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Hey, not too bad, my friend.
Yep. So here we are. It's like deja vu all over again.
Yeah. Yep. It's a violent cycle.
18 head coaches, and the Steelers have had 3.
Yeah.
That's an indictment. Wow.
Yeah.
When you hear it like that, you start saying to yourself, what in the actual hell is going on?
Yeah. It's an alarming statistic. There's a lot of volatility here in New York / New Jersey.
Well, it's not an easy place to play if you're a
Sure.
player. It's not an easy place to coach if you're a coach. So, I mean, you're the darling one minute and you screw up, and then everybody wants to like stab you in the throat. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
it's a tough place. You know, you got to have thick skin, that's for sure.
you got to be a freaking rhinoceros.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
But I absolutely have no idea what's going to happen.
I don't either, which
really
is sort of
don't.
exciting, to be honest with you, because I'm like intrigued. Like I have
scary.
no idea. Yeah, very
And
scary. It's
scary.
all of those
I mean,
emotions. Yeah.
Who thought Adam Gase was ever going to be a good idea? He got
I
fired for
thought that was
losing
terrible.
at our rival.
Yeah, and then we thought we could save him. That was very
that doesn't
arrogant by
happen
the Jets.
ever. That
Yeah,
never
hopefully they never do
happens.
that again. Yeah.
I mean, we have a good core. We do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But one of our best players is a question mark, JJ with the Achilles.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
Sure.
The morale is definitely, deep six in the locker room.
Yeah. New regime should bring a new energy and things of that nature, but no, you're right. It's in a tough place right now.
I really don't even know what to say, or I mean, who can fix this? I mean, maybe Aaron Glenn, a former player, and he's got experience in in scouting and coaching and everything.
He's been around a winning
he's
program with the Lions. Yeah, again, I was initially against it because he's a
well-rounded.
defensive guy, but to your point, he is incredibly well-rounded. He's a longtime former player in the league. Of course, he has Jet ties. He was a scout.
he was a great player.
100%.
Great player. He was like our best cornerback. He was 5'9", and he was our best. He was like one of the better cornerbacks in the league. The guy knows. I mean, he could certainly that would help Sauce out a lot.
Of course, yeah. And I could see the vision. Again, D'Amico Ryans did a similar thing. Former player went back to his original team, and they had that great spark run last year. And obviously they're going through some struggles this year, but still a great record, especially compared to Jets land. So, yeah, I can see the story of the homecoming and it all working out with AG. I could totally see it.
The only thing I don't see is I don't see any superstar offensive guys that can come over as an OC, because if they're that good and they are an OC, the other teams won't let them unless they literally pull up a Belichick and quit to come over. But then again, they're the contract violation, it's crazy.
Yeah. The only thing is, I think it was Ricky who said this, so excuse me if it wasn't Ricky, but that Aaron Glenn could have another offensive guy he's looking at, like on the Lions staff, who's not Ben Johnson, but he's like the quarterback coach or something. That's actually Mark Brunell, former Jet as well, but some other guy on the offensive staff that says, "Hey, you want to jump over with me and be an OC?" Say that again.
Wasn't Brunell a Giant?
He was a lot of teams. He was Jacksonville, Detroit, Jets. I mean, he bounced all over the place. But that's what I would say if I'm Aaron Glenn. Maybe he already knows a Lions guy somewhere on the staff that he could bring along with him that could be, hopefully, in theory, the next Ben Johnson. Yeah.
Well, not to recycle and not to be a truther or anything, but I think the worst thing that ever happened to Zach Wilson was when Coach Knapp got killed in that accident.
There's no doubt about it. Losing that sort of guy who's been around all kinds of wonderful quarterbacks throughout his history, God rest his soul.
That killed Salah. That I think was the linchpin of what really hurt the team. I mean, God bless you, Coach Knapp. You were a good guy, and I feel for your family. I don't want to be sitting there using your name just as an excuse thing, but I'm just saying that was one of the snake bit things that is part of the Jet curse.
Yeah, and, when you talk about that staff, Mike LaFleur is incredibly young, so he wasn't only supposed to be a veteran mentor to the quarterback room of Zach Wilson, but to the young staff that was the Jets on the offensive side of the ball, so that was supposed to be an overseer of sorts. So, yeah, that was unfortunate.
What I don't understand is, what are these young quarterbacks who don't make it? Like a guy, what happens to guys like Zach Wilson? Do they go to is there professional quarterback camp these guys can go to?
100% quarterback whisperers, basically. That's a thing. That's 100% a thing.
The other thing is, I remember when Mekhi Becton was going through therapy.
Yeah.
There was this offensive line coach that was coaching him up during his rehab. Why is he, and he's supposed to be well renowned. Why
talking about Duke Manyweather?
Yeah. Why is he not an NFL coach? Is he an NFL coach?
I don't think he's officially an NFL coach, but I think he's sort of to what you just said. There's a quarterback whisperer job where offensive linemen come to him. So that's his O-line masterminds. He has his own business, and he makes more money, and he has more freedom. So, like, if you're with an NFL team, you can only work with one NFL team as coaches. I think he prefers, because he has such a sterling reputation, to be able to do his own operation, his own way, and he gets clients from all over the NFL. I think that's why.
Can't we make him an offer he can't refuse?
Perhaps, sure, yeah. The Woody Johnson has a ton of money. Yeah, why not?
Woody Johnson has endless money. He owns a pharmaceutical company.
Exactly. So, yeah, but again, he has deep pockets, so they could go give any offer they can't refuse to anybody he wants. Yeah.
I mean, if he really wants a winner, I know there's a salary cap on players, but there is no salary cap on coaches.
That's true.
I think if he truly wants to win before he dies, because he's getting old, we're all getting old. Shit, I'm going to be 64 on Saturday. So
yeah, let me see. How old is Woody Johnson right now? Let me see. Any guesses on how old Woody Johnson is?
72, maybe?
77.
Oh, yeah. See, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
How old's Chris?
Oh, yeah, let's see Chris. Let's do this. I like this fair game of like, how old am I? Guess on the spinning wheel. He is, let's see, 65.
Okay. Well, he's probably going to take over when Woody either passes or decides he's just wants to go live on a tropical island or something.
I think Rich said actually Woody's son is supposed to take over, and he's super young. He's only like 18, 19. But I think he is being groomed to take over the Jets, is from what I understand.
Well, he should be shadowing Ozzie Newsome then, I think.
Yeah, that would help. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what to do. And I've been a fan of this team since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of you young guys out there, but you don't really know what is wrong with this window. It won't go up all the way. Oh, well. Fixed or repaired daily. Ford Motor Company.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at this. Say it stopped and went down. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, that's having some issues there.
It must have something blocking it. Oh, I know why. I had the sun visor in the way.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Dude. All right. Ford first on race day.
There you go. That's all right. I appreciate the call, Easy, and good luck to your window there and all your issues. Someone just asked about Woody Johnson's other children, so I just Googled it real quick. So there is a Casey Johnson. She looks to be the oldest, but I'm just kind of speaking here. Let me. Actually, I can just look it up here to go to his. Let's see Woody Johnson on the children front. Maybe it'll have the ages here. Yeah, so he's got 5 kids. Good Lord. All right. So he's got 5 children, does Woody Johnson. Okay. Yeah, so he married a former fashion model back in the 70s, had 3 children. He divorced her in 2001. In early 20 Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So he actually lost one of his children. She died of a disease. So I apologize. Yeah. Casey Johnson is no longer with us. So he had 3 children. One passed away, unfortunately. And he started a research foundation for lupus because one of his other daughters, Jamie, was found to have lupus. In 2009, he married a former actress and equity manager at a certain partnership. They have 2 children together. That's his current wife from Ukraine. So he had originally 5 children, but yes. So from what I've been told, let me see. So anywho, long story short, he's got a lot of kids. But from what Rich Cimini said, his son is the one that's supposed to be taking over. So my apologies for the lack of knowledge there on the children. But so his son's supposed to be taking over according to ESPN's Rich Cimini from that standpoint. So guys, let us know in the comments section if you were on board or off board, like I said, with the Arthur Smith guy. Like I said, I'm sort of off. I didn't love what happened with his head coaching tenure. I don't know. He just gives me a bad vibe. People compared him to Adam Gase earlier. I don't know. Again, he's had great success with the Steelers this year, and I can appreciate that. He had success as an OC with the Titans. I can appreciate that, but I'd rather go in other directions. Again, he checks off a few boxes. Is not a first-time coach, an offensive coach, and all those things, but I'm going to go no thank you on that front. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and thanks for the memberships and all the wonderful support so far on the show today. So, Austrian Jet fan, appreciate you there. Well, actually, before we go, we got one more call to squeeze in. Let's go to Hep Baby here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. Hey, I'm just curious. What game we have? What's the game this Sunday?
For the Jets, or just a good game to watch in general?
No, the Jets.
Oh yeah, we got Dolphins. Dolphins on the road.
Dolphins on the road. Well, we're probably going to lose that one.
Yeah.
Great. But if I bet it, I'm sure we will win. If I bet against the Jets, then we'll win. If I bet like $100, then that'll. But do I really want that to happen? I don't know.
That's it. It's a very confusing time, Hep. A very confusing time.
Yeah. So what do you? Dolphins are on the outs too. They're on the outside looking in as well, aren't they?
They are. They basically have to win out to make the playoffs, and they need some other help to happen. I mean, they got a more legitimate shot. I'll say that we do, obviously, because we could be. If the Jets lose to the Dolphins, are officially eliminated from the playoffs. So the Dolphins, if you squint, have a shot, and you look at their schedule, you're kind of like, okay, I can sort of see it there potentially for the Miami Dolphins, because here is who they've got. They're 5-7 right now. Here's who they have for the rest of the season. They're home against the Jets. They're at the Texans. The Texans have been hit or miss. The 49ers have imploded. At Cleveland, at the Jets. They could win out. They could win all these games potentially, but will that be enough? I guess truth will be in the results, I suppose.
Right. Was it a 1:00 game?
Yep, 1:00 game. We basically have 1:00 games, I believe, the entire rest of the season. The only one we don't know yet is the second Dolphins game, but to be honest, they're waiting out to see if any intrigue will happen. I don't think there will be any intrigue of that one. That one will also probably be relegated to a 1:00 game. So, yeah, all our remaining games, I've now confirmed it, are all 1:00 outside. Like I said, Dolphins regular season finale is TBD, but that is likely going to be relegated to a 1:00 on Sunday as well.
Okay, I still watch the games, even though we're out of it. But and I still root for touchdowns.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, those were exciting. Hey, I had more excitement jumping off the couch this past Sunday than I've had in a while. I'm like, oh, kick return touchdown. Whoa, touchdown here. I was like, oh my goodness. And I look at my fiance like, hey, this is what football's supposed to look like. And then it all collapsed. And I'm like, here we are.
All right, guys, peace out.
Appreciate it, Hep. Thanks for the call, brother. And thanks everybody for a great show. Thanks to the 500 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to support the show. Feel free to do so. We'll be back in a couple hours. I'm heading off to the radio station, but you guys can check it out at 3:00. It'll be myself. It'll be Woody, and we'll be talking all things Miami Dolphins with my guy Brian Miller from that standpoint, which should be an absolute doozy. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.